Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. That's a good thing on a Monday. It's
On
not Monday
Monday.
yet.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's Tuesday right now.
Is it Wednesday?
No, it's not Wednesday, Michael.
So today is Tuesday.
Today is
You know
Tuesday.
what? You know what time it is then?
What
Do
time
you?
is it?
It's
I
time
know
for
what time it is. What time is it for you?
it's time for Talk on Tuesday. Interludes Extra with Valarie Johnson. Good thing we're here.
I
Just
know,
in
I know.
time. Just in time.
Just in time. I'm excited
Yeah.
for that. Oh my
Yeah, my
gosh.
unplanned nap ended at the perfect time. Just in time to say your name, say your name. So, Valarie, what do we have to talk about tonight on
Well,
Talk On Tuesday?
first of all, before we get into that, I want to say what's up to the chat. And this is our new moderator on the platform. Hello, Mr. Springer. uh
Kevin,
interludes.
Kevin. Well, you say Springer, and I automatically go to the chant. You know, I'm old school.
Go back to this the Springer chant. There we
Yeah,
go.
the
And
Springer
then
chant.
of course
Kevin, Kevin, Kevin.
we got my boy Ron. He's like, let's get this convo started. I'm loving that. Hey,
Ron.
here's Veronica out of Harlem. What's up, Harlem World? She's here. Harlem World, she's here.
Harlem World.
And
Oh
look at
my
this.
goodness.
Look at this. We had
It's in
our
the
coach
building.
Tony Thompson is here.
Coach. So you know what? So look, the Sky Victory. Look, there was a secret weapon. Yeah, okay. Y'all was thinking it was KFC. You thought it was Candace, of course.
Hmm.
All praises to them, of course, of what they did. But Coach Thompson was in the building for Gang Three. So you see what happened in Gang Three. Oh my goodness!
Oh
Wow!
wow.
And the points just kept coming. Long range, close up, this dominance. Had old Diana Taurasi so frustrated, she pushing refs. What's that about? Wow, they let her
Oh
keep playing, huh? And that was a good thing for the Sky. The Sky got to beat all of the Mercury, all of their
hmm
players. So our best beat their best. So that's a true champion, and they
I
deserve it.
know.
They
I
deserve their parade today.
I know. I know. I was
The
really
women got their
excited about that.
parade.
I know. I know. And oh gosh, I gotta take this off.
And they
How do
got to
I
say
do that?
all the words that they wanted to say because they champions. You know what? If you were watching football, a football parade or a hockey parade, you'd also hear some choice language there.
No, no one,
Lasagi, Lasagi,
nobody, nobody wants to hear the choice language. You know what, Michael?
little
We
salty. Hey, you know what? If you interview an athlete with the emotions going, they got the feeling. You know, you just have the button ready. That's all.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Dun,
Live.
dun, dun, dun.
That's
Dun, dun,
right,
dun,
exactly.
dun.
Had a kid, Capri, right? Right. They
I
need
know.
Capri for the verses to kind of hype them up, hype the sky up, and they can always go.
Oh my gosh, that's Tanya Flowers. Hello. And then
Wow,
we have Augustine. He's
always.
he says we look sharp. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, nice. It's all you. It's all you. You got the vape going and the pretty flowers. There we go. Oh yeah, the
Well,
actor, as if you didn't know he was the actor.
I
Goodness, when is his thing? When is his material going up? I heard there's a cameo from a certain Valerie Johnson in one of those productions.
yeah, the we worked on a film production back in September, and
Yeah.
I it was fun. I flew to New York and got in front of a camera instead of behind it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, did you take
and
the
my
deuce to the tray to get there? Were you
yeah,
way
I
uptown
know.
and took the deuce to the tray? A bitch and that they took the cake.
And here's my friend Becca, and she is our life coach that's coming on our podcast show. Becca, she's here.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Becca. Oh, wait a
Hey,
minute.
Becca.
Tony wants to know, do you see me, Coach Tony? Yes, we do see you.
We
Oh, you
see
want to
you.
come into the studio.
We can see you.
He wants to come into the studio.
We can see you.
You
We
got
can see
to,
you.
I sent you the link on your LinkedIn. That's what I did. I sent you the link on LinkedIn. Go to your
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, click on the
Dallas.
StreamYard, and then you'll figure that out.
Dallas LinkedIn to the Coach Thompson. The
Before
man,
we,
at game 3. You know, we should ask Coach Thompson. You know, Chance said he's getting a tattoo. You getting a tattoo too, Coach? Coach Thompson, you'll get a sky tattoo?
the coach is laughing. You see that?
You getting a tattoo too?
The coach is not getting. I don't think he's getting the tattoo. He was laughing at that.
This is skyline. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure Chance will get the skyline. Who's to say Chance? Who's to say Chance wasn't gonna get the skyline tat anyway, right? But
Exactly.
he got a good reason to do it now.
So before I go any further, this episode of Talk on Tuesdays is brought to you by the NBN Business Network, the premier growth platform for established urban business owners and professionals and nonprofits organizations. For more information and to sign up for a free newsletter, go to the MatthewsBroadcast.com. And that is the website. I'll have Mr. Springer put it in the chat. Versus battle
after this, though.
After this, not right now, but after this.
It'll be there for you. That's right.
Oh, hey, look, your boy is here, Michael. Look who's here, Michael. Look.
Hey, Gardens, what's up? What up? Yeah, we moved to a new platform. That's right. Every platform a little bit higher, a little bit higher. You know, we went from the platform for the 009 to the 008. And tonight we'll also talk about the 007, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Did you want to talk about the 007 right now? Because we could do that if you want to.
Transition, if you'd like to do that, we can do that. So had a chance to go out safely in the way you are safe. I'm safe too. So went out to a place called a movie theater. They still exist.
They sure do.
Yeah, they're doing quite well. They're doing actually quite well. Went into a theater. It was pretty empty when I sat down. And by the time the lights went down for the movie to come up, it was full. So that's a good sign. Good sign people are still, living their life like they're golden, which they were. This wasn't GoldenEye we went to see, though. It was No Time to Die, which is the latest installment of the 007 series, possibly the last one featuring Daniel Craig as James Bond. Now, I differentiate, and if you know a little bit about the series, you should too, because there's a fascinating possibility coming up in the next movie.
We kind of alluded to that because we're because you know what, it's funny, depending on who you talk to, this is supposed to be the 25th movie in the Bond franchise or the 27th. And so
Daniel, they're not counting.
Well, it's been around for 59 years, so that's a little bit past both of our times, just a little bit. Yeah, and Daniel Craig. What was that?
It was a good thing for video.
So Daniel Craig, Ralph Fiennes, Rami Malek, and Lashana Lynch.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright and Naomi Harris in a film by Gary. Oh gosh, I don't want to butcher his last name.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So I am interested in that. We'll have to check on that another time to see. Like, what do you mean that they're not counting 2 of the movies? There's have to be Roger Moore.
There's 2 movies.
There have to be the Roger Moore movies. I wouldn't count any of them. I wouldn't count any of the Roger Moore James Bond movies. Those could all get the egg.
I know.
Of be counted.
Anyway, and Kevin is letting our chat know, if you have a favorite Bond movie, go ahead and put it in the chat. In the chat.
No Time to Die. Click.
What is your here's my thing. What was your impression of No Time to Die as I look to the chat to see who loves what film? What was a favorite part of that movie for you?
You know what? I gotta say, I really love the beginning. Now James Bond movies, whether you really love them, and I know some people just revere James Bond. It's a certain style of movie, almost like a Marvel movie is a certain style of movie, or even like the auteurs. By that I mean like Scorsese or Spike Lee. They have a certain style, a certain type of movie. So Bond movies, no matter who's directing it, they always have that kind of like opening sequence. It kind of brings you back to it. Now, I'm not someone that has really followed James Bond, which
Oh, you
I really
haven't?
want to do. Uh,
No.
when you and I grew up, James Bond was Roger Moore. That made it really hard to get into James Bond. He sort of was not. He was the anti Sean Connery, who was the man that made James Bond cool. And
Oh,
even
in fact,
though,
before you go any further, Ron says that never a Bond fan, no matter how cool Sean Connery is.
mm,
Ouch.
okay, well that's fine. I mean, because as my mama calls him, when Daniel Craig came into the whole franchise of James Bond as 007, she said it went from James Bond to James Blonde. That's what she likes to call it, James Blonde with Daniel Craig because I mean it's a little bit different. I mean this is when he came in, it was almost like a blonde Wonder Woman. It's like, is this gonna work? I mean, James Brown was the kind of the dashing guy, dark hair, sophisticated tuxedo, martini shaken not stirred. Famously drove the best cars, the Aston Martins. Had some of the most beautiful women around him at all times. At times, sometimes trying to kill him, which is just part of Bond. He just has that effect on women. This is one of the great jokes in the women. Does he have that effect on women all the time? Yes, yes, he
So
does.
so there's there's an allude that's happening where possibly the next Bond could be female, and there were two agents because I think the storyline is that James
So,
Bond
so
is on a
here,
break. So
well,
what
okay.
happened?
Well, so here's the thing. Okay,
Here's the thing. Here
and
we
this
go.
this is why I'm kind of being careful with the language I'm using here. If you listen to Casino Royale, okay, yeah, you're right. Casino
Kevin.
Royale, yeah, Kevin. That was one of the ones that I kind of came back to James Bond. That was the transition. It was where James Bond goes from being the kind of the cartoonish James Bond. I mean, even when Pierce Bronson took over James Bond, it was always kind of like
Tim.
a wink and a nod, like I'm James Bond, so of course it's gonna work out. When Daniel Craig came into the role, he got himself beat. He got beat down. I had never seen James Bond get beat the way that Daniel Craig would take blows. Okay, body blows. It's like
Was
a
that
scene of James Bond. When it,
was
you
that
know,
in Skyfall? Was that in because that's my favorite of the ones that
yeah, you start to
he's been
see it
in.
there too. You start to see that there's a vulnerability to James Bond, and I think
Hmm.
it's really interesting because at that time when James Bond is becoming kind of real, there's an element of realism being added to the franchise. It's also the same time that Matt Damon kind of comes out in this other direction with a spy, with Jason Bourne, who is almost
Yeah.
like almost like a superhero in his the amazing stunts that you saw there and the action
Mhm.
there as someone who was trained to be this kind of assassin. So Bond becomes more human. Bourne takes on some of those elements that Bond used to have, and what it does is I mean, not maybe it's not by design, it just happens that way. Bond becomes more interesting because here's
Okay.
the thing was that you always thought that, or you knew that no matter what was happening to James Bond, he was going to get out of it. He was always going to
Yeah.
find a way to make it work. It's like, well, yeah, but there'll be magically a car there waiting for him, or he has a parachute on and you just didn't know it, or whatever. There was always
Right.
that kind of like what's that just to say machina, like God and machine kind of idea that no matter what
Mhm.
James Bond was doing, James Bond was gonna get out of it. Like,
Your
and he
friend, your
started to,
friend, your friend, your friend Gardas says that never say never again. Sean Connery's last Bond film, was that your favorite, Gardas? I'm wondering. because he mentions that. And then Revelator says Sean Connery was the best overall.
Well, because he sort of, gives you the shape of the Ian Fleming character. He brings it to life. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fleming was a great writer, wrote a lot of these. So one thing I can say is that although I'm not, that was Carter's favorite. So although I'm not, the best, well versed in James Bond, I know the characters. Like I know M, I know Q, I know Money. I know these are the characters that Bond has surrounded himself through. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that's really wonderful about No Time to Die is that you know that he's vulnerable. So when people are
Mm-hmm.
coming after him, there's always this risk now, this suspense. It's like palpable, like, oh my God, they could get James Bond, like he's got to figure a way out of this. Is this it makes it you buy it, you buy in, okay?
Right.
You
Right.
buy, but there was a time with James Bond you didn't really buy in. You could always step back and say, well, something's gonna happen. He's gonna get saved. Here's the thing. Now I was careful with language, Valarie. Daniel Craig plays James Bond. 007 is the rank, is the status of James Bond that which he has earned. But just like things can be given, things can be taken away.
Yikes.
Right. So in the previous film, he says that he's leaving. So they in this new one, you see, they kind of take him at his word. So he leaves as 007. He's still James Bond. So that opens the door for a new 007.
Mm. Opens the door wide open.
For
Oh
a
my
new
gosh.
new 007. So at times, as you're watching No Time to Die, you'll hear the term 007, and two people are answering.
Yeah. And so here's my thing. Now Revelator says James Bond would have never been created had Ian Fleming never watched a kids show Secret Agent
Secret
Man.
agent man, secret agent man.
I didn't know you could sing, Michael. Go on
Oh
now.
yeah. Oh no, I can do it. I can do it if you need it. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Yeah. I mean, he is this kind of like amazing character, and
So
somebody that has survived, and a franchise is built off of him. So this whole idea is like, well, is something bad going to happen to James Bond? Well, you always thought like, no, of course it couldn't happen to James Bond because they got to make another movie. You sit
exactly.
there and you wait in the theater, just like with the Marvel movie, you wait for the end credits to see all of the the previews of the next movie. You wait for
Mhm.
that one sentence that reads, uh, you know, James Bond will return.
Right.
You
And
wanna
that's
you
usually
want
how those films within. Now with the two women, Lashana Lynch and Anna D. Armoris.
okay.
Now they're the ones that's answering to 007.
No,
How did they
no,
do? One
not.
is
Oh no,
Cuban and one is black.
only one of those people is answering to 007.
Which so that's the surprise?
Only one of those people is answering to 007.
Okay, that's a spoiler alert. We're not going to give it.
No,
So,
that's what I'm telling you. Only one of those people is answering the 007. You,
okay.
you see a continuation. So if you've been watching James Bond, you will be rewarded. This is a continuation of the previous 007 movie, which kind of left you on a cliffhanger. So they pick it
Mhm.
up. They pick the story right up where they left off. They continue. You see these relationships that James Bond has with people in MI, of course, but also with the CIA, with Jeffrey Wright. And you see,
It was good to see him in the previews because I want to go back
well,
and see him. And I
he's
actually
been
met
in the
him.
movies. He's been in several movies now,
Uh-huh.
so his part kind of continues to grow and develop, and it adds something to James Bond. The thing about Bond is they kind of in the past, like going back to Connery and Moore, they would randomly throw in somebody in a film for him to care about, so that the villain would go after them, of course.
Right.
But what they've established here now is like it's very believable. It's
All
quite
right.
believable. And so it makes the action a lot more exciting. It makes like all the scenes have a lot more consequence. It's pretty well written. One of the co-writers is Phoebe Waller-Bridges, who
Okay.
is also known for the streaming show Fleabag.
Hey,
So
that
she
won a
is
lot of Emmys. That won some
yeah.
Emmys.
So she's a performer as well as a writer, and you
Oh,
can see that there's an element and a nod to James Bond. I mean, I think one of the interesting things about Bond is that he kind of has a limited shelf life. If you go back to the original James Bond, if you
mhm.
think about our cancel culture now, James Bond couldn't pop up today.
No, not the James Bond of the 60s.
You know,
No,
not the womanizing,
no,
alcoholic,
no,
James
no.
Bond. It's
The
very
Me Too movement
chauvinistic.
would be
Yeah,
on that.
yeah. That's just not a character. Tuxedo or no tuxedo. He's just not well dressed for today.
Michael,
Dalton wasn't bad. Artist. I never thought Timothy Dalton was serviceable. I mean, he
wait
was
a minute, you make
serviceable.
him sound like a waiter. What do you mean he
He
was
was. He
serviceable?
was a waiter. He was kind of buying time for someone else to step in. Because I mean, this goes back into the '80s. Pierce Brosnan was on a TV show in the '80s called Remington Steele, which
I
kind of
used to wait. I used to love that
okay,
show. Now I was young when
okay,
that came out, but I used to
right.
love that show.
You know who else loved that show?
What?
James
Who?
Bond's producers. They also loved that show, and they're like, you know what? That guy, that guy on that TV show, he should be James Bond. And
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't get into it. I mean, he couldn't get the role because of timing,
Mm-hmm.
other circumstances there. So it took a while for them to get to Pierce Brosnan. So they got to him later than they wanted to get to him to
Okay.
make him part of the Bond franchise and make him James Bond. So in the meantime, they had who was serviceable. He just kind
Oh.
of was a placeholder
Well,
until they could
the
get.
placeholder actually actually was liked by Kevin. Kevin said, "Hey, he actually liked License to Kill with Timothy Dalton." But
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying he's not a great Bond. So sorry. I mean, those two things can't exist. You could have a good movie, a really interesting movie, and just have the wrong person in the lead role. Speaking of which, not to go too far afield, I was watching because I'm that kind of person. Watching a documentary on Goodfellas, the making of Goodfellas.
oh yeah,
Probably one of the best movies made. If you're gonna make a list, it's probably in the top 20 of that, or at least top 50. I would say
okay.
20. But Goodfellas comes out, and it stars a pretty unproven actor in the lead role in Goodfellas. At least Ray Liotta was not known or well known as
Oh, Ray
the
Liotta,
actor
yeah.
at the time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also the actress Lorraine Baraka, who plays Karen in Goodfellas, also not really like a superstar. Well, when Scorsese was making it, the studio had two other actors in mind for the lead roles in Goodfellas. So this is what I'm talking to you about, like people not really made for the role. Val, do you know who they wanted to play as the lead in Goodfellas?
I'm afraid to ask. It wasn't Joe Pesci, was it?
No, no, they it wasn't Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci played his part. It was a part that was, made for Joe, and Joe knocked out the part, of
Mm-hmm.
course. No, they were thinking of like let's get some movie stars in this movie to make sure people see it because it's so
Oh
expensive to make. They thought let's get Tom Cruise.
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's who they wanted.
no. Tom
Yeah,
Cruise is as no.
that's why
Really?
directors and writers should make movies and studios should give them money and get that world out of the way. Yeah, they wanted Tom. Can you imagine Tom Cruise in Goodfellas?
I I I don't think that would have been a that would have been bad. That would have been bad.
They'd have to
I don't
lower
know.
all the cameras, right?
Ooh, wow! Shots fired. I want to real quickly. I want to say hello to Dr. Stephanie Burrows. How you doing? It was great chatting with you on Sunday. Oh my gosh! If you're in the chat, give us a shout. Give us a shout. We were just talking about James Bond. And like I said, if you have a favorite film from the Bond series, there's 25 to pick from. Just put it in the chat. We want to see what you like. 25 or 27. I'm not sure because at least 2 or 3 of them I wasn't around for. At least 10 of them I wasn't around for. Say what?
Which ones aren't they counting? Her Majesty's Secret Service. What movies are like? That's not really a Bond movie. It's like.
I think it was under a different production. And do you know MGM has held the, I want to say, licensing rights of James Bond for a very long time. I'm dead serious. Yeah.
They got a license to print money. They've been printing money with James Bond. That's why they wanted Daniel Craig to come back to make this movie. He didn't want to come back. He was enticed, I'm sure, with lots and lots of money. He's one of the producers. He's listed as a producer for this.
And this movie, No Time to Die, was slated to be released last year in 2020. And just like everything else, it didn't happen in 2020.
You got to see it on the big screen. You got to see this on big screen. If this is Daniel Craig's last time as James Bond, his last hurrah in that role, you got to see it on the big screen. It's worthy of it. You get Italy, you get Jamaica. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay. So No Time to Die in theaters right now. You guys go ahead and check it out as we transition.
Awesome. He's good. Very good as a villain.
As we transition to the versus battle, myself and Michael were on. We were on the texting. Valarie. If you saw the versus battle between Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One, I need you to put it in the chat. And if you have a favorite song from Boogie Down Productions or KRS-One, because myself and Michael, we are both hip hop heads.
Or the Big Daddy Kane, Daddy Kane.
I get the job done. I work, baby.
Stepping. He's the Big Daddy Kane. Stepping.
So I want to say it started with Kid Capri DJing.
Capri.
I believe Kid Capri only allowed not 2 minutes, not 3 minutes, but literally 30 to 45 seconds of a song on, and he would switch right to the next one. Y'all remember this? Dun, 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 dun. And I was like, oh, he went to something else. Drop the beat, y'all. Get a beat, y'all. Get the ball. Get the ball. Yeah. So
how much we love Kid Capri.
Oh my gosh, how much? And Kevin's asking, let us know who won. Now, in your opinion, who won? There you go. Oh, wait. Before we go, let me add someone to the mix here. Let's go back to the Chicago Sky. Coach Tony.
Coach. What's up, Coach?
Man, what's going on?
Oh my goodness, man. Hey, they were waiting for you, you know? It was one
coming out that gym tonight, practicing.
Come through.
I was trying to get on that court Friday and Sunday. I love my girls. I mean, that stadium was rocking. I was sending Val pictures, and man, it was rocking, man.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, let's do this as we make a quick back transition. Tony, myself, and Michael, we all went to North Central College in Naperville. Naperville's own, or Chicago's own, Candace Parker is a part of the now 2021 in WNBA World Champion Chicago Sky, and Coach Tony was able to attend Game 3. How was it for you, Coach?
It was amazing. Not a bad seat in the house. I was in the first row of the upper deck, and the atmosphere was awesome. Copper took over right away. Shut Brittany Griner down. Brittany only had, I think, 4 points at halftime. Dana Taurasi stayed in foul trouble. and
Oh,
Skylar Diggins couldn't get off. So it was awesome.
Woo!
wow.
It looked like she was fighting the refs, literally, huh? Toward the end of that game.
It wasn't that. It's that Vandersloot was putting in so many pick and rolls, and thought she was getting hit by either Candace or getting hit by one of the post players. And when she was coming out, she was grabbing, and she thought that she was getting the same type of treatment, but she wasn't getting it in Chicago, baby.
No. Coach, tell us about what a difference that would have made. I mean, at the time it was controversial before you went into the next game 4, I believe. The fact that the league had some discretion there. They could have taken Taurasi out. Was in their hands. I mean, she did make contact with a ref. Everybody saw it. Pre-game, if we were watching it on ESPN, they talked about it. They could have taken her out of that game. Now, what would that have done if you didn't have Taurasi there playing in game 4?
I'm going to give you the exact same example. Michael Jordan, third ring at home, playing against the Lakers. When he made the scoop shot, Magic didn't like it. Magic went over because he thought Michael was trying to show him off. They stopped the game. Magic bumped the referee, but you're talking about Magic Johnson. So you take Magic Johnson out of a finals game against the Bulls, there's no finals and there's no story. You're talking about Dana Taurasi, who is the GOAT of the women's basketball, hands down, and you're talking about a lot of young athletes that are coming up. So to take her out of that game by the referees is one thing. To be taken out of the game because you're getting flat out beat is another thing.
Exactly. So, I mean, you would agree. The Sky had already really taken her out of the game, and as we see later, probably taking her out of the series. I mean, she was not the same player in the next game. She was noticeably different. The frustration that you saw in her early on in the first half of game 4 was kind of, I mean, that was a little, for me, it was a little unusual. What were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think what she was doing on that because Brittany had a slow start. We were playing great defense. If you go back and look at the film, every time Brittany caught the ball on the block or she caught up at the elbow, we either were double down on it or we were hedging all the screens. So if you notice when you watch the girls come off the screens, Candace either was hedging hard, pushing the ball up the half court, and then we would cheat to get back underneath. So either left Brittany with a long jump shot or we double Dana on the wing. So they weren't knocking shots down. So Taurasi felt that, okay, I'm coming off game 3. I wasn't getting the calls. So if I start off this game 4 playing aggressive, then, maybe I'll get the calls early because I'm Taurasi. All she wanted to do is get this game back to Phoenix. Get the game back to Phoenix. And remember, we fought from 14 down. So it wasn't like the referees turned around and gave them the game. We had to start playing defense. And when we started to click and Candace got to going in that fourth quarter, it was over.
Right.
Wow.
Tell us about Coach Wade. Because I feel like, just as an observer, of course, he's not on the coach. He's not on the court. But sometimes these coaches don't get the love that they deserve. I mean, the fact that they were down in game 4, they had to come back. He had to make an adjustment, right?
Sure. Oh, exactly. Well, let me do this first of all. Blow this up for my frat, the beautiful frat, the United States in the world, baby. Kappa Alpha Psi, K Psi. So, Brother Wade, for the noops around the country, man, Phi Nu Pi, man, we love you to death. And the next day, if you are a Twitter goer, what I like most important on there is that the Black Coaches Association gave Coach Wade a big shout out. That's huge. And to become in a position he did and to really bite down. And I like his interview. He said, man, I'm just a normal old guy doing some normal old things. I made mistakes in my life, but I put it together and I got this opportunity. God put me in forth these young ladies, and I was able to bring back Chicago's finest back home to give them that push. Now, I told Val last week, if we had kept Deladon, the series over before it started. But to get us in a situation where we get Candace home without Deladon and you had to find a way to get a win, that's huge. And Coach Wade, what I liked about him is he didn't put the light on Candace. He didn't want Candace to carry that weight. So to have a balance because to me, they couldn't stop Vandersloot. And Copper, girl from Philly. She fit in the Chi-Town well, baby.
Right.
She did, and she's from North Philly, not just regular Philly. She's from North Philly.
My bad.
There's a difference.
And trust me, they blew me up on my Twitter that night. They set my Twitter on fire that night to let me know she was a North Philly girl.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to let the chat know you guys are like, oh my gosh, y'all went from the versus battle to the
in the versus battle.
Sky.
Oh, yeah, I love that versus battle because
KRS-One. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? By the way, Coach,
I was in the airport trying to get back home. And I caught the end of it, but it didn't matter because coming through North Central, it was nothing but KRS-One for me, baby.
Come on now, you know it. You know the love that KRS-One had in Chicago was just like unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and someone else agrees with you out in New York. Augustine said KRS-One, or I don't know, Big Daddy Kane. I don't know. And then of course, Veronica said she loved the work, especially the dance steps. Now, what you missed, Coach, was that who did they bring out, Michael? They brought out like everybody looks like. Roxanne Shante.
Nice and smooth.
Oh,
came out.
Nice and smooth. Okay.
If you from New York, you
So
know. So
you got to hear DeWick. Yeah,
I know.
He should have brought the Juice Crew out with him.
I think he did. Is that the dancing crew? The Juice Crew?
Yeah, that was early on.
They came out.
When BDP and Big Daddy Kane was going at each other, it was early on when BDP when Big Daddy was still part of the Juice Crew before he came Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
So
he represented. They went back. KRS-One brought out Channel Live, of course. Madeline. Madeline came through. You had Das Effects.
Wow.
I heard about that.
I lost my mind when they came out because I was like, well,
I love and to me, once when I got a chance to re-see it, when they start talking about Scholar Rock and then he come out with South Bronx, South Bronx, it was over.
Okay, so here I was watching the whole thing thinking that KRS is being kind to Big Daddy. He likes Big Daddy because as soon as he plays, the bridge is over. Game over.
It was game over right there.
And I like what he said. He said, I didn't know he was bringing out groups of people. I thought it was me and Daddy Kane spitting in the park. I thought this was a rap battle. I didn't know he was bringing out groups. So that's what.
And one of Michael's friends, Garda, says for him it was a tie. Big Daddy Kane had better stage presence. Lyrics was crisp. KRS-One seemed he was out of breath a lot of times, but he had more hits and more bangers to go off on.
But what he did, Val, if you look at that, and Mike, you tell me if I'm right. What he did, what I liked about what KRS did was, even though he was out of breath, he engaged the crowd. So he allowed the crowd to finish the lyrics. So when he had to take that breath, he was like, Bronx, keep on taking it. Let the crowd finish that. And so now you got that crowd interactive where Daddy Kane was doing a little more dancing. He didn't have that crowd interactive. So I think it made a difference. And you really couldn't tell how much out of breath he was.
It did. It did. And that's Chris has always been doing that. He did that from day one. He can move a crowd. And I mean, as far as breath control, he has breath control. But I will say this: I was letting Val know, we were kind of going back and forth as we were watching it. Is that I gotta say, and Big Daddy Kane was in great shape. Yes, I mean, I had somebody like Augustine. He could kind of comment on whatever in the world Big Daddy Kane is doing it's working. Because
I think he gave me some of that mess. I'm still in good shape too, Mike. Come on, man.
I'm not. He did it. I mean, that's one thing that was really kind of noticeable. It's like I saw Big Daddy there. I'm thinking like that man could do a 20-city tour right now. I mean, he's in the shape to do it.
Oh yeah. I love. They saying it's the best battle ever. What I liked about it, it was just an old school. It took us back to the yard. I know these young guys want to hear the new rappers, but you got to understand the basics of the game. And now I'm gonna give you guys an argument. I know that people are listening out there to me. So I got a question. I got two questions for you. The one question is that if you had to go back with an old school battle, if you put DMC, who could you put up against DMC? My personal, nobody. And the only group that I could possibly put up, maybe Public Enemy.
For Run DMC?
for DMC.
I don't. Okay.
Hey, I may be setting it up a Swiss Beats. Hey, Swiss Beats, you listening, baby? That may be a DMC.
Well, I did. I'll take it a little bit twist on that. I appreciated when KRS-One said that, you know, I'm here because of Big Daddy. Like Big Daddy said the same thing. It's like we feel like we're evenly matched. I appreciate them saying that to each other.
Right.
I do have to disagree though. I mean, at some point, I thought Scratch, the DJ with Big Daddy Kane, tried to engage the battle, and Chris just shut it down. KRS-One shut it down. He said, "You running out of hits, huh?"
Right. Yeah, because you know he's running out of hits on. Like you said, once you jump on the bridge, the hits were starting to slow down. That's why I got to come with the dad. What Daddy Kane should have did, brought back Kid and Play.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
I got a last question I got to ask you guys.
Okay.
Is the city of Chicago planning a parade or something for the girls?
No, that happened today.
They did
that
today.
actually happened today. It was amazing.
Man, I should have stayed an extra day.
Find the video.
Stayed an extra day.
Well, let me tell you, I've been so busy. I had to get back home because I was on the field last night with the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. So I had to get back home. I was down on the field doing some stuff with the Titans and the Bills last night. So,
Coach, do you run? Coach,
I've been busy.
Get Josh Allen the ball. You have.
Hey, I should have took the ball from him. But hey, the good game, we had a great comeback. They couldn't stop my boy Derrick Henry last night. Henry would put it on him, baby.
No. But do you do that as a coach? If you got your player's hot, your whole team is built around this player. When push them to shove, you give your player the ball, right? You put the ball in the player's hands, right?
Two things. If I'm down on that goal line and I know the Titans are playing the way they're playing, and I know I got Josh Allen, I'm the number one team in the East, I'm kicking that field goal to take that score. We're gonna go in overtime, play it out. But if I'm playing aggressive
on the road, you do that still?
Yeah, but because I had the momentum. They still had the momentum playing, and it's the flip of the coin. And you know the new rules in the NFL is we both get a possession.
Yes.
We both get a possession. All I gotta do is hold you to a field goal.
Yeah. Okay.
So we both get a possession and we're good to go. And the other thing is, if I don't, then I'm not gonna let Josh Allen run the ball. I'm gonna give it to a running back.
Josh Allen's the best running back on the Bills, arguably. Arguably.
Hey, but we had the best defense on the field that night, arguably.
You did. The Titans stepped up. Titans
tightened up, baby.
I mean, I think they proved something. They felt like they had to prove something. You know, I don't know if 3-2 at that point was really reflective of that Titan team. I don't think that record was really where they stood. It was just so happened that they had 2 losses.
Yeah, we had a slip up early in the season, but you know, I was hoping that my Bears. I was hoping my Bears got him in here, but the Bears had a preseason and they got canceled. You saw what happened with that situation. And I love, you know, before we went to the Sky game, you know, the Bears opened up at noon against Green Bay, and I was hoping to see my guy Justin Fields, but you know, I saw some bad tosses from him in the end zone that was costly turnovers, and Aaron Rodgers gonna just snap on the crowd. So that's a little something.
Okay. Let me get to the last part first. The reason that when I watch the Packers, I still think you got to hit him in the chest, in the ribs. If you hit Aaron Rodgers, only a few teams have really done it well. If you hit him, he will back down. But nobody really gets a hit on him. But I see, Coach, you've seen it too, right? You've seen those games when Aaron Rodgers, he gets hit early, and all of a sudden it's a different player out there. Now, they didn't get to him, and then therefore he comes out and he tells the crowd, the city, and breaking my heart, like, I own you.
Right.
I own Chicago.
Right.
I own the Bears. Like, ooh.
Hey, Mike, you know, back in the day, that'd have been an extra hit, even when he on the ground. That'd have been, if that was the old 85 Bears, you're going to take an extra hit in the head.
Darn right. Richard Dennis.
End up with a concussion.
Richard Dennis will hit you.
End up with a concussion. But
Samurai Mike would not play that. You're going to get hit. And when they go to Green Bay, I expect that to happen. I expect it to happen. All right, they got to get to him. If they get to him, it'll change the game. I don't think the Bears did a bad job. That interception by Fields, he saw that they were offsides. Now that's not his fault that the officials didn't call it offsides, but the Packers were offside. He had a free play. He went to the end zone. Unfortunately, it was intercepted. They didn't call that offsides. So I think it did change the game. I think that interception did change the game. The Bears were playing with the Packers up to that point, and then all of a sudden it just switched back to every other game we've seen against the Packers over the last.
Yeah, I hope they get a little bit better on it. I'm gonna leave you guys with one thing. I need one question, Val. I got to put my school on the map here. I want to know what the Chicago Bulls gonna do because my kid, out of the best school in Chicago, baby Morgan Park. I want to see what my boy Ayo Demisu gonna do with them Bulls this year.
Morgan Park in the house.
Morgan Park in the house.
Mustangs.
I want to see what Ayo Demisu gonna do, and them Bulls gonna step up. I'm hoping they have a good season this year.
Yeah,
I think they do.
I think
so far so good.
Yeah, and I think they will. It's just we gotta see what we're gonna see, and their season starts
tonight, tomorrow. I think tomorrow night. I got to give Coach Donovan a call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
Please do.
That would be wonderful.
We hope that you had the same effect on Coach Donovan that you had on Coach Wade.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much, Tony.
Yeah, I love to see a repeat. The men and the women as champions this year.
I told Val after we talked the other day. What I tell you, Val? I told you they're gonna win Game 4 by 6. I didn't think it was gonna be a blowout, but I said by 6 we're gonna win it. I'm gonna predict. Here's the crazy part about it. There's been the last 6 years. There's no champion has repeated in the last 6 years, but I think the Sky will be the first in the last 6 years to repeat, baby.
All right. Well, if you want to hear more from Coach Thompson, guys, check him out. He is Touch the Sky, the episode that we did last week.
You rise with Coach Thompson.
And we're so grateful. We're so grateful that Chicago Sky won. Coach Tony Thompson. When we need to talk sports, we know who to get. Tony.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thank you so very much, bro. Oh my gosh. Good to see you.
Hey, I gotta get these kids out this gym. I'm gonna sign off here. Hey, Val, Val, I love that little touch, Mike. She told me it's Tuesday night with Coach Tony. I think they got a good ring to it.
We'll be talking with Tony, Coach Tony. Talk on Tuesdays with Coach Tony. All right, Tony. We out, man.
Right.
We out.
There
you go.
Oh
my God. So I know who
steps in, right? What was that? You never know who steps into the Interludes studio.
You never know. You never know. And if you would like to be a part of the talk, go ahead and put it in the chat or let us know. I mean, I know we were talking the versus battle. I want to get back to that. But like I said, please like and subscribe to the Interludes to the podcast channel, and go ahead and hit that like button and hit subscribe. There we go. I'm just doing my little promotions there, but
trying to put it that way. Wait, no, that way. It's over there. It's over there. That's why I see the chat.
Over there. It's
over there. Chat's over there.
Right. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much. And when Kevin says, "Hey, our Touch the Sky episode was epic." Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. But back to the
best guests. You get some of the best guests on Interludes.
Thank you. So, what are we going to be now? Here's the question I want to ask before we leave, because this is what. Before I go, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I wanted to give a shout out to my friend out in Brooklyn, Rosalind Harris. She ran in the American Cancer Society's Making Strides Breast Cancer Walk, and they've raised over $76 million across the country in breast cancer research grants. So I want to shout out Rosalind. She's a part of the New York Runners Association, and good luck. I went ahead and gave her a donation for the breast walk. So it'll be coming to your city near you. Go ahead and support cancer research. There you go. Great job, Rosalind.
And it's one of those things. The topic that you just raised there. I kind of I've been learning some things about it, and that people receive different treatment. I think we talked about that before here on Interludes, at least in the podcast. That given who you are, your doctor may or may not give you the same high level of treatment that another patient might receive. And when it comes to African American women, the kind of standard test that's done for early detection may not be as effective for you as it is for a Karen or a Kathy or someone else. You need a different test because of
Right.
density. That's a really interesting thing. So you may have ladies there. You may have a early detection. Check with your doctor to see if there is another density test that can be done. There was a case that was reported recently in local news here where someone went to their doctor. They weren't found. There was nothing found. So they thought they were in the clear. When they did a second test, I believe like an ultrasound test, that's where they found it, and it saved that person's life. So,
Wonderful.
so yeah, make sure you're in constant contact with your doctor. I know COVID, right, Val? COVID kind of slowed people down from being in touch with their doctors.
Yeah.
Want to go out. They didn't want to do these appointments, but the time is now. If something's going on, you want early detection.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I always tell people about the band that I wear here. It's pink and it has my cousin's name on it, Yvette Renee. She unfortunately passed away due to breast cancer in 2007. And peace to my friends out in Los Angeles. Just, we have got to do what we can to just make people aware, and to go ahead and see your doctor. I know
Right.
it's a weird public service announcement at this time, but go ahead and
It's
get
something
your
that we've been on
situation
top of
checked.
here. It's something we've been on top of here in interludes, and there
Mhm.
are at least one, if not two, past episodes where we kind of addressed it,
Mhm.
directly, and had some people there to give their perspectives and their own stories about what they did and how that could help you if you feel like this is, could be touching your life or the life of loved ones around you. So check out our library. Interludes library is quite extensive over the last going into second year, right?
Going into Yeah, we've been doing this strong since June 2020. June 2020. So I mean, we are literally coming around the curve of 2021. Interludes on tomorrow. Tell me if you guys have seen the series called Squid Game. Just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Have you seen the Netflix 9-episode series called Squid Game? I mean, oh
I
my
know
god.
I know the Chicago Skies PA has seen it because they were pumping in some music, some of the soundtrack from Squid Game in the in the WNBA finals. Anybody that's seen the show recognize some of the music playing and couldn't help but laugh the fact that it was that elimination game in game four. It turned out to be for the Phoenix Mercury.
Now
A lot of
he's channeling the
elimination
music.
Squid
You're
Game.
you're channeling the music. Okay, Garter says, "Hey, no spoiler alerts. He is on episode 5.
Okay, yeah. Oh
Real
no, yeah,
interesting."
and it is interesting. That's why we're going to talk about at least two of the major themes in it. We won't. You can still listen to the episode that you'll get tomorrow afternoon on the Squid Game. We're not going to tell you how it ends. We're just going to tell you what it's about and why, and give you an idea of exactly why it's been so popular. I mean, this show wasn't supposed to be this popular. In fact, you'll hear in the episode, this show wasn't really supposed to be, was it?
No, the creator of Squid Games, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Kevin. He says he started watching it earlier this week, and he's on the edge of his seat. I guess waiting to see what's going to happen. And I literally just finished this series on this. No, I finished it last night. I think I binge watched the last 3 episodes. I just watched because I was like, I gotta see what's going to happen. And I'm like, I see it. They have done a wonderful setup for if there will be a season 2. I'm just wondering if it will. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that there is. But and maybe I don't know. But anyway, the creator went around to anywhere from 7 to 10 studios, and they were telling him that he could not get this produced because it was too violent. And then Netflix took it on, but it took him 11 years from 2009 to now to get this thing, 12 years to get this thing produced and done. Because I think they started shooting.
Might have had a point.
What happened?
Had a point.
They might have had a point, right? Red light.
Ooh. Okay. So I know there's an impact to it. In one of my classes today, I heard one of the students say to another one, "Red light." It's like, oh no.
Green light.
Yeah, I think we're inspiring. I think they're inspiring at least a new challenge of paintball. So
I know.
Hopefully just paintball.
I know. So anyway, that is what we're going to be talking about on tomorrow, the next podcast, Squid Game, and possibly the debt crisis. We'll come up with a fancy title. We haven't.
Yeah, and that's certainly one of the things, and that is certainly one of the things that you'll hear us. Okay, thank you, Veronica. All right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. And of course, like I said, this episode of Talk on Tuesdays is brought to you by the NBN Business Network, the premier growth platform for established urban business owners and professionals and nonprofit organizations. If you wanted more information, go ahead and visit thematthewsbroadcast.com. Sign up for a free newsletter and tell them the Interludes sent you. Michael, what's your name?
My name is not Valarie Johnson, but your name is, because this has been Interludes Extra, Talk on Tuesday with Valarie Johnson.
All right, guys. We'll see you all a little bit later next Tuesday. Check us out.
We'll check you out next Tuesday. Check out the podcast. Dropping tomorrow. Right. KRS-One, Ichiban. No doubt. He won the verses. There's no. I mean, come on. I like Big Daddy. Everybody likes Big Daddy, but there's no.
I love Big Daddy.
No way.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Let me hit the end call button. Good night.
All right. Yeah, we got to talk about that. So, in that last episode of Squid Game, when they do
we're gonna cut it off right now. Bye-bye.